All right, we have some other items there. One, like I said, one is a trainer. It's a carbon bit. I think I'm probably saying it wrong, but as you can see, the blade, there's no edge, there's no point. It's pretty solid. It's meant for training. Do you think this would have any viability just having this alone?
Yes, yes. I've sparred full contact with these things actually up until I got injured on June 5th. I did full contact sparring with these, and Drake and I were cutting each other up. I mean, we had to put. He's a businessman. We had to put forearm guards on him so that he wouldn't look like a savage when he went up to his business partner in case his sleeves went up. Because we were getting, we're kind of older, so we're getting like these deep bruises that are actually the skin's busting open. Now, I don't know how to use a screwin bit. I know a couple of guys that train with it, and I realized that this is for a finger. To me, that's a finger that's asking to get broken.
Yeah.
And it's also not retaining this as a possible weapon. So I like this guy like this. The same thing. Okay, but not only you're going for the chin with this, don't go any deeper in the chin with this because you don't want to take a chance on doing this and busting your thumb. You try to go for the point of the chin, and you might score with this, okay, and then you can club in with this. And I guess you want to test it and make sure that the lock is really good. Now, when I see something like this, it reminds me of 2 times I used a utility knife to defend myself. One time was against somebody that actually had an edged weapon. The other time I wasn't defending myself. I was defending Nate, who was a friend of mine. Okay, when Nate had just gotten out of jail, we spent the weekend, but real big dude, beating the crap out of 3 guys that were harassing his wife and her girlfriend, and this guy at work is trying to pick a fight with him. He looks at me like, please. Well, the other guy's a whole lot bigger than me. And he's like, get me out of this. So he nodded. I gave him a nod. Yeah. He nodded over the other dude's shoulder to me like, you better look out. And when the guy turned around, I took my utility knife and I slashed him in the balls as I was coming up off the floor because I was opening up a case of butter or biscuits or something. And after I slashed him in the balls with the undeployed blade, I slid open the blade. So he thought he had his balls slashed. So he held his privates and he ran like a duck to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Turned out to be kind of like a big joke. The other time, a guy was threatening to pull his balisong knife out on me, and I could see that he was serious. I covered his knife hand. He had an inward draw like this, where the thing was sideways, going in towards his belt buckle, which is how you would open it. It was some Velcro thing. You pull it out, and you'd flip it out, and then you would deploy it from over here. I just covered his hand. And as I stepped in to cover his hand, I stepped in too far, and I stepped on his feet. And then when he went to step away from me, the guy was like 260 pounds. I was 143 pounds. I took the weight off of my rear foot, and he just drugged me with him. So he never got rid of me. And he could have just like thrown me across the room, but he was so focused on his weapon. I said, I need to end this. I pulled out that same utility knife, and I put it against his throat. And what I did when I pulled it out, I clicked it in and clicked it back. So he thought I had deployed the blade, but I did not. And I held it against his throat, and he surrendered to me. And he ended up giving me that knife, and that is the balisong knife that's in the Logic of Steel in the photo. So something like this, I would test it to see how good this lock is before you used it for something like this. Okay, because this is a pretty powerful blow. This,
no explanation.
This, the Darth Vader of puncturing implements. I practice with this on cardboard bales, on meat. This is a lot better than a flathead screwdriver because it'll glance in instead of glance away. You can see how far it is in to the handle.
Pretty solid, yeah.
What I would prefer would be that you would get a bigger one, okay, that would have a longer handle and hence more inside the handle, so more of a tang. and then cut this down. Okay, I mean, that would just be a preference for like an ultimate, because I'd want a little bit more hand in this, but this is fine. This is real good because this is going to help keep it from slipping. Now, there's no function on this end. You're just going to use it like this. Unless you used it like this. It's going to be more effective using it like this because they're not going to see it. But it depends on where you draw it from. I used to carry one of these in my knee pads. I had a hammer that I used to knock the pin back into the forklift at work. I'd wrap 2 other knee pads around it, and I would put my Phillips head screwdriver, which I use for taking the frozen food cases apart, between the padding and the leather casing. So I had a weapon system where I had a hammer handle. This hand was covered with leather knee pads. I had the claw for the hammer here, and I had the ball here, and I had this guy here. So I was ready to go like this. It was a real good system that I used a couple of times, defending myself going back and forth to work. This little massage stick, I really love this. Something like this, I would use like this, okay? I would use this just as a gambit to try to get them to pull their chin back so you can get the neck or you can get the head. Try not to go like this. This is easy to defend against, and it messes up the elbow a lot, so you can't practice with this a lot without messing up your elbow. This is a lot safer for you to practice with, and you could take something out of your hand and you could practice this on the heavy bag at the gym, and you're essentially practicing this. Now, the pen, I've used the pen before, and this is a stainless steel pen. Now, when you're using the pen, I like it in a pocket here, and this is in case my defensive item is usually around the right hip because I'm right-handed. If I can't get to that, I've got this. Okay, and again, this is very important in case you get jammed up. And then if you do get jammed up and you're in the ice pick and you got to take this around, then you spike the kidney. You go around behind it. Okay, so if you get jammed up here, okay, then just pull it in and spike the kidney. With something like this, I wouldn't mess with this much. You want, if you're defending yourself with a pen or something like that, then fat stabs in the belly or something, I wouldn't mess with that. You want to hit something that's going to swell them down. So you want to get the armpit, okay? You want to get the head, you want to get the eye, you want to get the neck, you want to get the kidney. Now, if you got a pen like this and it's on this side, it's an intelligent move just to, if you're being attacked, just to take it out and stab the guy over here. Most people have not been stabbed. They don't realize that if they really get stabbed, they're not going to feel the weapon, okay? But most people that you would stab with a pen, as long as you don't show it to them, they're going to assume that they got stabbed with something that's going to require medical attention, and then they're likely to leave you alone while they seek aid.